Rule 46. Save in big chunks. Or should you? I always thought that if I could get my hands on a big chunk, I would put loads of it away, and that would be a brilliant way of saving. I have a friend who says that is a nonsense, and that the drip-by-drip effect is the best way to save. Who is right and who is wrong? Obviously, I must be right. It's my book after all. Let us consider it a bit more logically. Suppose I save a big chunk. Let's say I get $20,000 for some work I do or something I sell. I spend half and save half. And I do this when I am 50. How much do I have at retirement? My friend saves a miserly $10 a month. Small potatoes, I say. But he does start early, at 20, and never misses a month. Who is going to retire big time, and who is going to be reusing tea bags? Come on. You can work this stuff out in your head, can't you? No. Okay, there's the following chart, assuming a modest 5% interest per annum. See, I told you I was right, but not by much. Hope you have learned a valuable lesson here. It's good to be prudent and save regularly, but in the long run, a big chunk saved later in life will bring home the bacon just as easily. Rule 47. Don't rent. Buy. We all need somewhere to live. We therefore have the choice as to whether to rent the roof over our heads or buy it. Most of us can't afford to buy outright, so to buy, we need to borrow a lump sum of money to buy with. But hang on. Haven't we said that borrowing is bad, and we shouldn't do it? Haven't we said that this way madness lies because you pay so much interest on what you borrow and so on? Indeed we have. So how can you own and not borrow, buy and not have a mortgage? The answer is that a mortgage can actually be viewed as an investment rather than a borrowing. If you buy a property with a mortgage, you make a monthly investment. The fact you pay that to a mortgage company we can gloss over. You see, in the longer term, and if you're lucky, the shorter term too, you can reasonably expect that the interest you pay on your mortgage will be less than the increase in the value of your property. What you are banking on is that the value of your home will, in the longer term, go up, and therefore you have invested whatever deposit you put down, and your mortgage money. Renting, on the other hand, is not an investment. You will never see that money again. Of that there is no doubt. With a mortgage, you stand a good chance in the long term of seeing your mortgage payments led to an increase in the value of your house. When you sell, you get that increase in value. Bear in mind, however, that buying property is a long-term investment and you may not gain in the short term. If property prices plummet, you'll struggle to turn any of your asset into cash. Some experts advise that your house should represent only half of your total assets. That might seem optimistic to some of us, but it's a good target to aim for. There are those who believe that buying your home instead of renting brings with it huge stresses and means you have less fun. The lesson is to think carefully about how much your mortgage repayments will be and that you are able and willing to pay them. Ideally buy cheap and sell for a lot more. You then have a choice: invest the profits in the next property without borrowing any more, and in doing so, you decrease the mortgage each time. Eventually you own outright, and without mortgage payments, you have somewhere to live, and don't have to pay for it at all anymore. Alternatively, you can do what most people do and buy a bigger, better, more expensive house. This isn't a wealth creation strategy, but it can be what you wanted your wealth for, which makes it fine by me. So how can you own and not borrow, buy and not have a mortgage? Rule 48. Understand what investing really means. Many investments have a twofold purpose. They generate income and they increase in value. In other words, if you invest a lump sum, this is known as capital, you get regular small payments of some kind, and the actual value of the capital itself increases. That is, the lump sum gets bigger. Let's suppose you invest in property. In an ideal world, you should be able to rent it out, thus providing the regular small payments in the form of rental income, and the value of the property should go up also, so your capital increases in value over time. Likewise, shares should pay out dividends, generate income, and should be worth more than you bought them for when you sell some time later, increase in value. You get the idea. And notice I say should rather than will. Nothing is certain in this game. You can of course invest in pretty well anything you want. Company shares. Your brother's harebrained buy an old boat and dough it up and sell it for a fortune scheme. Fine wines, paintings, gold, classic cars, rare books, Georgian glass. Pension funds and such, including savings and deposit accounts. Inventions and new product development. Ideas and people. Theatre shows, films, TV program development. And it doesn't have to be just plain old investment. There is also sponsorship such as race cars, football teams, and so on to raise brand awareness, hopefully yours, and not just the race car or football team. Angelic capital. You invest in people and ideas in an altruistic way, rather than purely as a money-making venture, as opposed to venture capital, where you invest in people and ideas purely as a money-making venture. Remember that investments of any sort are a form of gambling, no matter which way you look at it. And that you can lose. Ask Lloyds of London if you don't believe me. On the other hand, investing in a broad range of low-risk investments can still net returns worth having. Remember that investments of any sort are a form of gambling, no matter which way you look at it.